Welcome to another episode of Sleazy Sports. And today I'm joined by Onke, and we of course have a new member because he is gonna feature a lot on this channel. Nwando, what's happening, dog?
All good, gents. How you doing? How you doing?
We good,
I
man.
know we well. We good. We can't
Thanks for
complain.
having. Thanks for finally having me.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Hey, I think you should also
Yeah,
feature
no.
on Mondays since you support Arsenal because there's not a
He
lot of
supports
Arsenal.
Arsenal. We need
Yeah,
Arsenal fans. We need
we
Arsenal
need
fans.
them, dog.
I'm
Yo,
We need
here.
Arsenal
I'm
fans.
here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here, gents.
yeah,
Let me
yeah, and
know when.
of course, I'll hit you up. I'll hit you up. I'll ensure to hit you up. And of course, gents, today's episode is rugby conversations that we've been holding in for the longest time. Last week we were meant to have one, but unfortunately, load shedding. You know, our country, guys, it's a bit dark nowadays. But
It's literally
before
dark.
it is
It's
dark, it
literally.
is like yeah, like hey, even this week I'm surprised that I mean it's rare to find that I don't have load shedding in the evening. Usually
Yeah.
I always have load shedding in the
Especially at
evening.
this time.
Yeah, dog. Hey,
Especially at
indeed,
this time.
indeed. Yeah, guys. So let's hop into this, net gents. Before we even discuss the game itself, now I just wanted to ask you guys this question: how do you guys feel about our jersey?
Which one?
That that
Which
one,
one
you know
exactly?
which one. You guys know which one. The
The
Checkers hyper one.
checkers one.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Checkers one.
So I've seen all three, man.
yeah,
And yeah, I'll be honest.
yeah,
I am so bought in to the alternative ones, especially the white one. The white
yeah,
one is beautiful. Like it's not even white. It's like a cream color. It is
yeah,
beautiful.
Mm.
Beautiful. And the fact that there's an alternative Springboks jersey, is new to us, honestly, because we've only
yeah,
ever known green and gold. So I like them. I honestly like them. The teal one, the checkers one, the one
yeah. The
we,
teal
we, we
one.
we wore for the first game
Yeah.
against Scotland.
Yeah,
I love
Yeah.
that jersey, man. I just like it. It's different. I saw it at the cricket, and then I saw the white one. Some white boy was wearing it last week. A little
yeah,
kid. I was like, the detail on it. It's so crisp. It's beautiful. It's like, nah, these jerseys are
It
dope.
is.
And they don't look
yeah.
like a typical Springbok jersey. So if you like looking different, I guess they are for you.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
You
true.
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
I,
You
I,
can go. You
I
can go,
actually
Dwan.
saw it over. I saw it for the first time over the weekend, and funny enough, before I comment on the jersey, I don't know if it's because the green and gold is selling out fast, but people are buying the supposed kit that they don't like. Like
Yeah.
it's sold out.
Yo.
So someone's not honest here. Someone's not honest about whether they don't like it or not, because it's
Yeah.
definitely selling out.
It is selling out.
You know,
Yeah.
so I don't mind it, guys. Honestly, like what it does remind me of, it looks like a warm-up kit more than a match day kit, like at first glance. Um, but I'm not mad at it. Like I can't say
Yeah.
I'm mad at it at all, man. Especially the
Yeah.
one we played against, the one we played with against Ireland this past weekend was actually, yeah, it's probably my favorite in a while.
The white one, yeah.
Yeah. The
That's
The
white one.
white, the
beautiful.
full white one, yeah,
Yeah,
that's very
yeah,
nice.
no. Yeah, no, I think of course Amanti Nike is our new sponsor. So I think maybe on their end they're just trying something new. You know how they are when it comes to kits. They're very innovative.
Exactly.
And as well, it also looks light as well on the
It
gents. It
does.
seems as
It
if
does.
But
yeah, it's very difficult to even when you tackle them, guys like Dialandi, these guys that, normally play crash ball, it favors them more because it's
definitely,
not easy for one to actually hold on. Whereas the green and gold one for me, it maybe on them because they're big. When I wear it, it doesn't it doesn't
It
like hug my body in the way that it
it
would
doesn't
hug
hold
Sia,
on.
of course. Yeah. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. I know, Jets. I just wanted to check with you guys because it's, of course I've been seeing mixed reviews when it comes to the jersey. Some people
so
despise it. Some people like myself, I'm cool with it. I think it's something new. I like, being different anyway. So for me, I'm cool with it. I don't see anything wrong with it, even though it does have the checkers colors. But hey, Sizotin, I mean, FNB colors actually. It's FNB colors in my opinion because they're the main sponsor. Yeah.
It's checkers, man. Hey,
The checkers go ahead.
it's
Checkers
checkers.
60 boy. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's jump into Saturday's game in particular because I know that's the game we all watched. Everyone was very, very upset as far as the game is concerned. So I just wanna start with you, Luando, since of course you knew that. Where do you think we went wrong? And of course, yeah, just from there, we'll start off with that question.
Hey man, look, I think we've had conversation. I think we had a conversation about this offline before this.
Yeah,
Before I think around in that warm up game against New Zealand, actually, that
yeah, because we were
the
together that
kicking,
time. Yeah, we were watching.
yeah,
Yeah,
the kicking was an issue. Not going into any big tournament without an out and out goal kicker is a problem, right? Like the thing of having to rotate. That's the obvious answer, right? And I know people have, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much.
yeah.
But I actually don't know what to make of that game because, again, it falls back on the 11 points that you missed. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, there were what I think Ireland did very well was win the territorial battle. Like most of the rugby, if you saw, especially in the first half, they were like pushing us back. We weren't attacking from their half or anything, which already, sets you back if you're going to try attack from within your half. So that for me was the one area that we need to fix. If we're gonna create more chances, we need to make sure we're creating those chances from their own half, winning that battle, playing most of the rugby in their half. And then the second thing, what I saw someone mention actually that the lineup variation was a bit different. If you remember, I think in the New Zealand game, in the warm-up game as well, they didn't know what to expect with our lineouts. Even with the mauls, obviously you can expect more, but with the maul as well, you can have some variation to that. And for some odd reason, there wasn't much variation. And after picking it like such a strong, the whole thing, everyone was talking about the 7-1 splits. After picking obviously a team heavily with forwards, you would have thought that maybe with some of the chances we had to kick at goal, we'll go for the corners, and we didn't. So I think, yeah, actually, Dobson made that same comment earlier this week, to say, look, you would have thought we would have gone for the corners and gone for the mauls, considering one, we know we don't have strong kickers or accurate kickers. Two, we had those penalties and would have easily, created better chances if we were attacking from a line out, in their half or in their corner. So yeah, it also felt like a game where we were feeling ourselves out against Ireland for some reason. I don't know. It didn't feel like we obviously were trying to win. I don't buy the fact that South Africa threw the game away, which some people are trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
suggest. But it did feel like a game where, okay, now we know, we don't play Ireland often, so now we know where we stand. And I mean, I personally think we will see them in the final again. And I do believe whatever strategy those guys, they didn't want to show their hand either. So I do believe that come the final, if we see them again, we will match up differently or we'll have a different style to our play.
yeah. And then
I still
Honke,
Yeah.
think I
yeah.
still think they have threatening ability around the breakdown area. Their ruck speed is
Hmm.
crazy than ours.
You,
They
Crazy.
were
Yeah.
they were turning over our balls, you know, putting a lot of pressure into our racks as well. We were very slow. We are a very slow team in our racks, but because we have strong forwards, we can always recover
Mm,
for the pace that we go into our racks. They were getting in
sure.
in the early, and they were finding the ball, and that was making it so difficult. And then we were getting penalties to them on those situations. But I totally agree with you. What we got wrong in that game is that we took 250-meter plus kicks, and we made them penalty kicks. We made them goal kicks instead of kicking for the line, instead of kicking for touch. And in so doing, we were giving away our main dominance as far as our forwards, which is our rolling maul. And the one time we actually mauled was right at the end of the game when Lebok found that
True.
Yeah.
amazing corner kick, and
Yeah.
instead of the ref continuing to let the game flow, he goes to the opposite side where he's going to be obstructed from seeing the ball. Can't see that
Yeah.
Heinrich already has the ball in possession, and then blows for the penalty, which is fine. I think we now know two things about Ireland. They can't stand our physicality. The only physical player they have is their center, is their inside center,
Yeah. Woo.
who in the second half were able to nullify completely. I think we matched him up with something equally physical as him in Dialande. And then from then, his impact was totally gone because in the first half, he was abusing Money and who was he matched up with? I think it was Money mainly. He destroyed him
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo.
whenever he drove. So we just changed
Yeah.
that matchup, put him with someone more physical than him, and we were hurting them, like crazy hurting them physically. And because we have such a great defense, we don't care about the territorial battle that much. I've never minded. Even when we play New Zealand, they are a finesse team. They want to pass the ball and they want to play you around the breakdown area. So they will always have the territorial battle. How we win games is we hurt you, we tire you, we break you continuously by hitting you. So at scrum time, we hit you. In the breakdowns, we hit you. In the rolling mauls, we hit you. We tire you because you get tired of beating this beast that refuses to let go. That's why when we run our phases, we also use our forwards. We don't play like other teams that want to use their speed to run their phases. The center of our
Sure.
phase is not run by our centers. Our centers tend to spread to the outside, and then the scrum half just follows to clean up and get the ball, and then we'll use our speed wide, keep the center as physical as possible. All our ball carriers always stay in the middle so that we break you, we make you tired as hell. And I think we saw it working with Ireland in the second half. They started to tire, and they started to concede penalties. We missed 11 straight points basically from the conversion after the try, and three kicks. Two of those kicks
Yeah.
should have never been kicks to goal. They were supposed to be
Yeah.
side kicks to the line, and then let's get our rolling maul action going. Let's tire them in other ways. Let's force them into penalties in other ways. Let's get them to realize that they are not a match for us, because when we threw our lineups, okay, we had two lineup scrums, I think, for not passing straight,
Yeah.
which can happen because I
Yeah.
think it's when Van Staden was throwing that we got those
Yes.
lineups.
And Bonambi
Um,
has
Yeah.
one. Had one.
and Bonambi
Yeah.
was gone. Yeah, with Bonambi,
Yeah.
our lineups were clean. So I'm not
Yeah.
too worried about our lineouts. We are going to dominate those areas in the game. We also won a few lineouts from them. Even though they won some, but it meant more to them. To me, this is what I felt. It meant more to Ireland to win that game than it did to us.
Correct.
And I
Correct.
Yeah.
think because they were so emotionally invested in the win, it validated their work. This from last year, this 14 straight wins they've had. It validated them to say it's not a fluke. We are the real deal. I don't mind. They're a very gifted team, but they also realize they can't match up with us physically. You know what I loved when we brought on the new pack in the second half,
Yeah. Bomb
and then the
squad.
first scrum,
Yeah.
we absolutely destroyed them. Like they were crushed. I think they held the set for like 2 seconds, and it looked like they could
Yeah.
match. And then we just started running straight through them, and then we got a penalty, and then we decided to take a long kick. I'm like, you're giving away the
The
advantage
momentum.
that
Yeah.
yes, because we have created an advantage in terms of our forward pack. Let us take that forward pack and drive it straight through them again, through the rolling ball.
Correct.
We didn't take that advantage. So I think we will make better decisions there. And there was a lack of alignment between the captains on the field and the coaches, because there was a point where they refused to kick, and I could see who is this guy? He was the coach. He's one of the coaches now. Why am I forgetting him? The one who holds the light. The one who can speak Xhosa, man. I forget this guy.
Um,
Is it Danny? I want to say Danny Rousseau.
I forgot the name, man.
I forget
I
the
forgot the name. Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
basically Ninaba's assistant. He was holding the light, and I think they were refusing. And you can see him aggressively saying, "No, kick." And I'm like, they're probably also seeing the game and saying, "Why are we kicking to goal when we can actually press these guys and
First, these
tire
guys,
them even
exactly.
more?" But perhaps they are thinking that we don't need to go through all of that to win this game. We can easily win this game. If they want to see the best of us, let them see us in the knockout phase, and then we'll show them the best of us. And now, when I look at the lineup to the game we're going to now, we are going for the 5-3 split instead of the 7-1 split that we normally use. And that tells me that we use the 7-1 split for teams whose forwards want to dominate. We believe Tonga is a strong team. We might want to use more speed with Tonga. So we are, and the flexibility we want to apply with our bench is innovative, because 5-3 is the structure. 5-3 is exactly what every team
Correct.
uses. You use your three forwards, your two, either you use one flanker, one prop, and then your three speedsters, basically. So a fly half, a center, and a winger in the bench. That's basically how they structure benches. But the Springboks were like, "Nah, we don't. We have very durable wingers. We have durable centers. We only need to change at scrum half. So there's no need for us to change our bench, And now they're complaining about it. So it's a moral victory. Yeah, it's a moral victory for them, because they were complaining, they were crying about the 7-1. So it's a moral victory. Like, yeah, bring your 7-1, we'll still beat you. Now we are the underdog. Now we are the most
And
dangerous now.
we play well from that position. We play
Yes.
very well.
we love
Very
that
well.
position. We love that position.
New Zealand is
Funny.
also the underdog in this tournament. That is very
Yeah.
Correct.
dangerous. That is
Very.
extremely dangerous, because they are playing well, and because they lost to us, everyone wrote them off. Everyone wrote them off when they lost to us. So now everyone is thinking New Zealand is weak, whatever, whatever. And they're looking at England. Oh, England won a game with 14 men, with George Ford's kicks only.
Yeah.
Australia is very
Oh,
weak, but
Yeah.
France is playing very strong. They're showing strength. And then there's Ireland and South Africa. New Zealand is not being counted. They are going to be at the most dangerous. So even if we face France, something tells me New Zealand has something for Ireland. Something tells me that.
My G.
yeah.
My G.
If there's a team that does, it's them. If
Dude.
there's a team that does, it's them.
Ireland is a
Because
knockoff of New Zealand. That's the other thing people don't
Yeah.
realize. They're a knockoff version of
Exactly.
New Zealand.
Thank you. Thank you. My guy
Everything they do,
cousin.
everything they do is
Bro.
exactly how New Zealand plays. They have powerful
Exactly.
centers. How does New Zealand play? They have powerful centers.
Powerful
From the time of
centers.
Manonu, they have
Yeah.
powerful centers. They
exactly.
Omanga.
break you.
Dude.
So it's
Omanga.
the same.
Conrad Smith.
Yes, it's the
Yeah.
same. It's the
Dude.
same
Correct.
idea. It's the same. It's the same principles that they're applying. They move the ball quickly. There's this 4-pass phase they were playing against us that we were able to stop, where they were making quick back passes and then doing split runs behind each other. I was like, this is
Yeah.
New Zealand. This is New Zealand rugby.
Dude.
Easily New Zealand rugby. But
Yeah.
they will
Yeah.
learn. They will learn.
And even switch
That
passes where they'll just
Yes, they
dude,
change
to the
direction.
blind spot,
Yes,
yeah.
dude,
it's New Zealand.
yeah.
We are well trained against that rugby.
We are,
Our
but
rush
I
defense
think
won't allow that.
you'll never, bro. You'll
our,
never. I
our
mean, how
lines,
many
our
times?
line speed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. I just wanted
I'll
to
be
say, how
back
many
just now.
times did thingy, Ibn Itzabeth, like, whenever they tried hitting a box kick, because of our rush defense, bro. He'd always be
Exactly.
there
Exactly.
to deflect the ball. But yeah, man, like even you said something that was very, very, very powerful, bro. It's that we didn't kick for touch. Whereas with Ireland, they've got a very good number 10 in Johnny Sexton. We all know Sexton. Whenever goal kicking time, homie always gets it. He always, most of the times, I'd say he's like a high 80%. He's got a high 80% conversion rate. And
Correct. Yeah.
instead of them going for poles, because they had positions where they could have went for poles, because they got the first penalty. I recall that first penalty where we won
And we kicked it.
Yeah, they chose to kick for touch instead of going
Yes.
for poles. So it's like they were playing in a way that we usually play, and we were trying to play the way they usually play, which for me as well, I also found very, very peculiar. But hey, man, it is what it is. Credit goes to the Irishman. I'm not gonna hate and be all bitter. They played extremely well. They played extremely well, bro. And so, of course, let's also move on to the how can we improve? At the end of the day, bro, we need to come up with solutions. There's no point in us, constantly looking on the negatives. So I'll start off with this question: how do we fix our goal kicking, mate?
Dude, I honestly don't have the answer to that. And I tell you
so
why.
Good. Why?
I tell you why. It's hard for me. And I know like people. I'm happy Pollard's back, right? Obviously, I'm happy. Everyone's happy. It's great to have him. He would have been in the squad had he been not injured. That's a no-brainer. But I must say, like, Boks gives our overall game. Besides, if you take the kicking for poles out, our overall game is very complete with him there. He doesn't lack with anything there. Like, he's not the biggest fly off, but he'll still try to make his tackles. His tactical kicking is spot on. So he can kick in attacking ways. He can attack he can drive our back line as well. So I don't know what you do with the kicking. I honestly don't, because there's also the argument that you maybe bring on Pollard at inside center. But dude, did you see what Dialendi did at inside center to that back?
You. I would say, man, that guy's a stream.
Like that's such a critical part of our attack that Pollard cannot break. He can't give us that. He can't give us those 5 to 10 meters every single time he carries the ball at inside center. He's just going to be an extra, a passer of the ball, which you already have 2 fullbacks that can provide that in Vili and what's this guy? Willemse, so you don't need you don't need that, you don't need that. But again, it's a tricky one again, because he hasn't been around for long. We don't know what he's gonna look like. Maybe we'll find out this weekend, or what kind of form he's in. But you can't imagine someone who's been out for quite some time being like, straight back into it, especially at a high intensity level, like the knockout stages are going to be. But other than the kicking, like that one I'll leave to the coaches. I'm not going to lie, it's a hard one for me as well.
But I trust him. I trust him with the kicking. The problem here is kicking in rugby is so situational. It can be the game decider, and you want reliability in that position. And I think we got an example of why kicking is so important. We've been winning with bad kicking, and now we're playing a close game where kicking became the difference, and then our bad kicking actually cost us a game. So having Pollard, who can actually kick, solves that problem. It's now getting him to match up with everyone else in terms of pace, in terms of preparation, in terms of matching the intensity. But he still understands how the Boks play. We have the same coach. he's played under. So I'm not worried as far as his familiarity. I think the challenge is just going to be, can he match the team's conditioning right now? Because we have a
Correct.
very
Thank
conditioned
you.
team at this moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you then drop Lebok? Do you then drop Lebok?
It's tough
Hey,
because LeBok is a better creative kicker than he
thank
is.
you.
This is the
And
thing,
Creative.
yeah.
Mm.
uh, I also think there is space. LeBok has the pace. If we wanted to play, I don't know, man, we would have to be a bit more creative. Because LeBok feels like an extra scrum half when he plays. He's
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
extra scrum half. So this is why now that we're gonna play with Andre, we have an extra center in on the bench. It makes sense because with Andre we are losing some of that creativity in terms of his passing. That
Mm.
will fall on the center, and the center will have to do more work in the game. This is why we are playing. Who's this guy, man? Who's going to be playing 13 with Esterhazy?
Uh,
Moody.
Yes,
Moody.
Moody's a
Yeah.
scrum half. Moody's a scrum half. So we are basically replacing LeBock's productivity with the ball with Moody, who's going to be helping
Mm.
um, Reinach. And then we're sort of trying to solve the LeBock problem because LeBock gives us so much creativity when we have the ball. The issue is set plays. We can't afford to
Mm.
keep missing set plays. We can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
indeed.
it's a. I don't know, but has he played fullback before? Like, maybe it is slotting him at fullback, and him having a similar role to what Villy does when he comes on as a second
Ye-
wave or your second fly off, as you would. Where Pollard's at 10, he slots in at fullback, and you still have that creativity on there, but then he comes on maybe as like your second wave in attack or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, that's the only way I see it working. But the suggestion for me, I know a lot of people were saying that Pollard at 12. I don't see that, man.
Yeah.
Not with the inside setters we have and what they do, the important job they do for us in Esther Hazen or Steer Lindy at inside center.
We need
Yeah.
big men at inside center. Outside center, we can play
Yeah,
with a more
Yeah.
speedy person. Even Mampimpi can
yeah,
move to outside center because he's a bit bulky, but he can drive with the ball. The
Yeah.
issue is
sure,
inside center is an impact zone for us. It's a ball carrier
correct.
position, so we need someone who can tackle well, and we need someone who can drive well through contact. Dialende is that guy. He hit one
Yeah.
guy. He hit one
Woo.
guy with
The
a
number
drive.
13. Yeah.
Yes, he
The
fell to the
13
ground and didn't
and the
come back
10.
into the game. That was
Yeah.
forced.
Yeah,
So that
Yeah.
is reserved for that. So Jesse Creel is an outside center. He's more of a finesse kind of player. He's a passer. So I think they are also looking at that to say we need to replace the outside center who's going to have to do a lot of interior work in a game like this. So that's why we are using more depth on the bench this time at the center position than we have used so far in the tournament. I think it's because of
sure.
Pollard. If Pollard wasn't effective, if our kicking was fine, then Money would continue to start. We'd be playing both Damien and Stenhazen and just dominate these guys. But instead, we are trying to keep the speediness of the. In fact, we would play Kreel and Dialande or Kreel and Stenhazen and Esterhazen and just try to maintain the same type of balance we have been using. But inside center is very important for the Springboks. We don't compromise there.
You don't compromise,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't indeed, indeed. And of course, all our inside centers, even in the past, like Jacques Fourie, he's also another one who was very physical, very strong, very good at breaking lines, and of course,
Jean
carrying
de
the ball.
Villiers. Jean de
Yeah,
Villiers, man.
but wasn't Jean
Yeah.
13 though?
No, no. Jacques was
He
actually
was a
13.
12.
Jean was 12.
Yes.
Oh, Jean was
John is
12.
12.
Damn.
Yeah, Jean
Okay,
was
I'm,
Yeah.
12.
I'm, I'm,
Jacques was the
I'm
finesse guy. He was the try scorer. Jean was the
yeah,
one who broke lines all the time.
and
All the time.
especially interceptions. That guy was very good at yo. reading the game, bro,
It's
and
brilliant.
positioning
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, I wanted us to, of course, I wanted us to also discuss the lineup for the up and coming fixture against Tonga. You know, we don't want to
So,
underestimate the the the, the team. Um, so I just wanted us to, of course, discuss. Pollard does come back, and a lot of people, as you can see, even here on the comment, this guy is showing a gif of him kicking. Then, of
yeah.
course, expressing how key it is to have someone who's a natural kicker. But like this squad, how many points do you guys think we're gonna put against Tonga?
Oof. 50
Yeah,
plus, man.
50 plus.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those
Yeah.
easy ones. The island teams,
Yeah.
nah, we destroy them. The Fijis and the Tongas. Okay, Fiji can actually give us a game, but the
Yeah,
likes of
Yeah.
Tonga, who's those other guys we played and
Samoa.
destroyed? Samoa. No,
Samoa.
they are not a
Samoa.
match for us. They are not a match for
They're
us at
not,
all.
man.
At all.
Yeah,
So it's going to be one of those games where records can be broken. Mampimpi can score another hat trick. You know,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll just run up the score because we're looking for
yeah,
the bonus point anyway because of the
We need
permutations
it.
with Scotland and everything. Yeah,
We
yeah,
so
need it.
we're definitely destroying them.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
No,
know we're looking at our lineup, but Scotland can
yeah.
do something very funny this weekend and beat these guys. Just to
You.
make things interesting. You know, I
Yes.
think
Yo.
just to make things interesting. I mean that
Yeah,
we didn't thrash Scotland by any token, you know. We played well, but we
yeah,
didn't thrash them.
yeah,
They're a solid side, and you can see on their day if they get their execution and game right, they can even work Ireland as much as tough Ireland is at the moment to beat.
yeah. Yeah, no, indeed. They are capable of causing an upset, you know. Hence the scoreline between them and us. We didn't even get a bonus point in that game. So
Yeah,
it just shows
Yeah,
that they, yeah,
we now regret that because now we have to do a lot of mathematics.
yeah.
If we got that bonus point, had we got that
hey,
bonus point, our life would be so much
it's not a
easier right now.
it's not a South African team without maths.
Nah,
That's
it's not
true.
a South
It's
We
not.
African
love our
Hey,
team, dog.
calculators.
Yeah,
We love
yes.
our calculators.
how we do, man. We love them, dog. Scientific, just to be exact, you know.
I'll say this. I'm
Yeah,
happy that Ox is starting. I
yeah,
think when he came on, he really showed dominance at outside. So I'm happy to see him starting. I think he gives us a different dynamic in the scrum. And then I'm happy to see Vincent Koch back. It's been a very
yeah,
long time without seeing him.
yeah. It's
I had
Yeah.
even forgotten about Vince. Like it's been
same
4
here.
years. I couldn't believe that it's been 4 years since Vincent Koch actually played for the Springboks. But another dominant scrummer, and the depth we have in the scrum, well, at the outside positions, let me say outside of the hooker position is actually great because our hookers basically
Hmm.
are Mbonambi and Marx. They are the best in the
Mm.
world, but the
Yeah,
fact that outside of them, 1 and 3, we have so much depth there is actually very nice
Correct.
to see. Very, very nice to see.
I know, indeed, gents, indeed. You know,
I think it's good to see Vermillion back as well. I think
yeah,
come the knockouts, some of the knockout games, a player like him, you know,
mm,
who's just brute force
yeah,
is gonna be vital, especially with our game plan. I thought I think he was in the previous game. I think he's someone who's definitely missed. Um, who else is there? I think this combination, we saw that this backline combination in the previous game, bar obviously Pollard.
yeah,
We know what to expect from them. Um, these kind of games as well, it's always where you're playing, a team that you know is probably not on your level. You tend to lose the structure a bit. Because everyone's like, the defense is not up to standard. So, and obviously everyone kind of feels like they can show themselves a bit more. But I think it's going to be key to try to keep to within our structure and make sure
Yeah.
that we don't let the game get too loose. Which I
Uh-huh.
yeah I think
I'm excited to see because we're playing basically the two flankers are good in the breakdown area in Sia and
Familiar.
Vermeulen, and then Visa as well because Visa plays outside flanker a lot. He's not like a true eighth man. Usually, Vermeulen plays eighth man. So the fact that they're switching, you know, also suggests that they're trying to attack the breakdown, which means we are
so.
going to see a lot of chop and change in terms of the scrum between Moody and Reinach to create more speed in our breakdowns, because that's how we're going to counter the threat that Ireland or New Zealand pose in terms of creating turnovers, because that's still our biggest issue as South Africa, is that we are very slow in the ruck. Our ruck speed is still very, very slow.
Yeah.
Once we got this right against Scotland, I could see us trying to create more speedy situations, and Muji was playing with Faf, and you could see that there wasn't this thing of waiting for the scrum half to come use the ball. We were quick,
Mm,
very
Mm-hmm.
decisive as well. And when you do that, you create multiple counters for your attack, because the defense continues to follow the scrum half, continues to follow the scrum half. The scrum half changes direction immediately. You have an overload on one side, and then you can attack. And that's how that no look kick was created as well, through just creating a whole lot of scrum pressure.
correct,
Sorry,
Yeah.
rack pressure,
correct.
Drag
and
pressure.
then they overloaded one side. There was a free kick to the left, and then it was easy to score. So those are some of the things that
100%.
we will create in this game against Tonga,
Mm.
because we need to become more consistent at creating from those situations. I think we see nice things happen one week, and then the next week we are not doing the same things
Ish.
we were doing that week. And I think that's
Mm.
the biggest frustration for this coaching group right now, to say, how do we carry some of these concepts from one game to the next? Because they remain applicable.
Yeah, yeah.
If your ruck speed
And
is
then
slow, the other team is going to take advantage.
Mm.
no, no, that's good. I just also wanted to ask you guys: do you think like players like Aboma Pimpi is like this? Is this team like the second team essentially, or do you think maybe in the knockout phase we'll start seeing more of Mapimpi in playing in games? Or yeah, because on my end it does seem as if when we're playing against teams that aren't on our level per se, this is the squad that we usually go with. Or do you think maybe the coach is gonna rotate even in the knockout phase and maybe use Mapimpi in some games or use Moody in others? Because I mean, against New Zealand, Moody was amazing. So
Mm.
yeah, just wanted to check with you guys with that.
Look, I think obviously with the group stages, you also want to manage bodies and keep guys fresh and ready for the next
Yeah.
round. So obviously avoid injuries. So it works out in that sense that you split
Oh yeah.
the teams distinctively. Um, and so that you don't have unnecessary injuries come knockout stages. You don't want to play guys back to backs as much as possible. Like you want to avoid back to backs for
Yeah.
any player if you can. And then secondly, it also I think it's going to heavily depend on the opposition and the tactics that we go into that game. Like we said earlier, in a team against Ireland where we know we can dominate them with our forwards, a lot of the backline players are going to miss out. Come, the
Yeah.
second or the second team backline players, in inverted commas. But yeah, I
Mhm.
think those two things. But like, come knockout stage, it's definitely going to depend on the opponent. Um, I don't, I don't see them tweaking a lot, eh?
Yeah.
I don't see them tweaking a lot. These
Same
guys,
here.
those guys that unless there's like an injury of some sort, but you know the they're also a group that surprises us a lot. So we don't know as well, on the other hand, what to expect from them come knockout stage. But I don't foresee a lot of changes. Definitely considering the players the teams we're gonna face in
Yeah,
the knockout stages.
yeah, yeah. I know, no, yeah. I do hear you
I,
with
I I
regards to
think I
that.
think
Yeah. Okay.
I think there's been a lot of focus on keeping the team fresh. So I think the likes
Mhm.
of Mambimpi, Jesse, they will become very important in these rotations as we continue with the tournament. What's been evident is that everyone is going to play. That's been the approach from Jock with this team, is that he's going to use all of the depth that he has in place to ensure that there's freshness, and that tells you that there's a bit of understanding in terms of roles, in terms of strategy, the different game plans. The entire team is bought into that idea. Plus, we've had a period of planning where there's been a lot of absentees, so he's had to teach the Springbok team and play most of it. You know, the likes of
Mm,
Koch being away for long, the likes of Sia being injured, Esterhazen was also injured. You know, we've a lot of people have missed out, have had time out from time away from the team. That means that the people that replaced them were acquainted with the team, the process the team uses, and things like that, and that helps in preparation for such tournaments. So there is a lot of faith in the general squad, but there is a first team. I think Mampimpi is in that group, but Mampimpi loses out because of our bench. That's the problem.
Mhm.
So when
Yeah.
when we use a 7-1, we have to sacrifice a winger. And when we
Mhm.
sacrifice a winger, we will use a winger that has ball skills, because we are
Yeah.
trying to help the scrum half as much as possible, since we are so forward heavy on the bench. So you see with how quickly the likes of Sia and Eben got out of the game last week. It's not This is telling you that they are prioritizing freshness. The results don't yet matter. The results will matter
Yeah.
later on into the tournament, and that's when you'll see guys
mm,
putting in 60-minute shifts, your full 80 minutes. But for now, we don't need to overextend people that are coming. Sia just came back from an ACL. You don't want that guy to be
Mhm.
playing 60 minutes. If he plays a good 50, fine. Get out, let's put Kwacha Smith in. That's basically been the approach from this coach, to say, I'll prioritize these guys. The time that they will sacrifice their bodies will be later on. So I think the approach works. It's perfectly fine
yeah.
the way they are doing. It's just sad we don't have Lucanio. I believe he is the missing
Ish.
linchpin right now in this team. If we had
Hey.
Lucanio, our depth would be
Man,
crazy.
man,
Yo.
man.
Alucanyo
Yo,
inja game, dog. Alucanyo is a real G, dog. There, that one.
silent killer,
Silent killer. And he's
silent
so
killer.
skilled. So
Yeah,
skilled.
so
So,
skilled,
so
so
skilled.
calm on the ball, so calm in
Yeah.
attack and defense. Like,
High IQ rugby
high,
Yo.
player. Very high IQ.
yeah,
Very high.
yeah,
Very high.
yeah,
Yo.
yeah.
And he's
Can't
also
speak
very
more highly of
selfless
that
as
guy.
well. Very selfless
Mm,
as well. Yeah. And so, guys, in closing, we have to discuss the Aussies, guys. Like we have to. I'm sorry. I
yeah, Mike.
watched that
Yeah.
game. I watched that game alone at home, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like I just could not believe on how weak Australia are, man. Like this is like the
Yeah,
weakest Aussie side I've ever witnessed with my own two eyes.
yeah, I know. Uh, Yo, where do you even start?
Ish.
You know, it went, dude. Guys, it went wrong before they even set foot on the plane to France.
Yeah.
Like, uh, two things for me. I get what Eddie Jones was trying with the whole new young team, young squad.
Ish.
But if you really want to keep your job, and if you're telling yourself that I'm building for the next phase, I don't think a World Cup is the place for you to do that. Where to say, I'm gonna kill off whatever experience I had in Quade Cooper, in
Dude,
Cooper,
Mike,
in Michael
yeah,
Cooper,
Hooper,
and then
dog.
take,
Yo,
you know, and take an unexperienced squad to the World Cup. I don't think that's the platform you do that at. If you want to keep your your job long term. Um, yeah, it's been they're in a dark place, man. They're in a dark place, and I know it's a transitional phase, but sports is unforgiving. You don't have much time, and like I'm saying, the World Cup is not the platform, is not the stage for you to start that. I remember even back to when Rassi took over with like 19 months for us to go into the World Cup. He built his foundation on experienced guys, you
yeah,
know, on guys he knows that the platform or the stage is not going to be too big for them. As much as we were in a bad place when he took over, we were in a horrendous place. We've forgotten how bad we were. That's how good this past couple of years have been. We've forgotten how bad we were when he took over. Like he didn't rely on fully rely on guys that were not experienced, didn't know what they were going into come a World Cup. You can't. I don't think there's very few sports. I don't know a sport that you can do that in. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose with young players, man. If I take a basketball reference, the Warriors tried that whole thing with the
mhm,
two timelines thing where you've got half an experienced group and half a unexperienced group. It doesn't work and it didn't work. And then they realized, oh shit,
yeah,
this is not it. Let's trade all these young players. You need a balance, and it takes time. He could if he was, it's a different case where if I'm the coach and I'm saying, shit, we getting our asses kicked, but
yeah,
both Coopers are here and some of my other experienced players are here. That's totally different. Like I can maybe explain that away. And he's a stubborn guy. I get it. He'll stick to his ways, Eddie Jones, but yeah, they're in a dark place. I don't know what the next coach is gonna do, or if he doesn't stick around, because there's also those rumors that he's been
yeah.
taking meetings with Japan during the World Cup. It's just a
Hey,
messy time for them, man. I didn't it's even hard for me to speak about the game against Wales because it would it wouldn't be like I can't single that game out.
yeah,
It's
it's
been this
been
whole
coming.
entire period. It's been this whole entire period. So the World Cup was just the final nail in the coffin, as you will like. But yeah, they've got a long way to go. I think I don't foresee them sticking around with Eddie
They
Jones. One,
they will
because
rue
it's just messy.
they will rue
Mhm,
they will rue walking away from Super Rugby for years to come. That was their best
Yeah.
training session for big tournaments, and we provided the best competition for these countries, the same as New Zealand. New Zealand has lost a lot
So
in their physical game. They've become very light as a team. New Zealand had the best balance of physicality and finesse as well as
yeah,
speed. With the surveyors of this world, the Maanonus, that comes from
yeah,
playing with South Africa and realizing that you need to have beefy men on the pitch, strong men on the pitch. They were
yeah.
run ragged by Fiji, destroyed physically by
yo,
Fiji, and and it was as a result of them becoming a finesse country because they left Super Rugby
Mm,
thinking that remember the Australians are the ones that started the attack on the Springbok way of playing rugby. They are the ones
mm,
that orchestrated this
yeah.
attack to say we play an outdated game, Eddie Jones leading the pack and all of that. Now Eddie Jones is being said to have never supposed to have gone to the tournament itself. That it was a mistake for Eddie
Exactly.
Jones to even go to the World Cup, because clearly from his selection, he wasn't going there to win the World Cup. And in Australia,
Mm,
that is one of their biggest pressure points. They want to win a Rugby World Cup, and South Africa has won it 3 times in a short space of time. That's offensive to them.
Yeah.
Their neighbors, New Zealand, has also won it 3 times. That's offensive to them, and they've just been chilling there. England, one of their sworn enemies, have won a World Cup. They want to celebrate it as well. And it seems as though Eddie Jones was not moving in that direction. He's trying to make this big project and everything. The fact that they're being embarrassed so early is also very offensive to them, because if this was happening later on, it would be better. Now the problem is it's
Yo,
happening now.
dude.
Now, yeah.
40, guys. 40,
And
40, dog.
and they hosting the next World Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
When is it gonna come to South Africa, guys? Like this is another thing
We
on how they award these.
honest
Yeah,
Exactly. We honestly need the next World Cup here. I don't think I think it's an injustice that we've only hosted it once.
dude.
Knowing the world rugby is set up right now, I don't foresee any like push for the minnows to start hosting. I think they'll keep it within the bigger nations. Also, financially, it works out for everyone better that way, unfortunately. But
Ish.
apparently, this one in particular, it's because France threw more money at World Rugby.
Yeah,
Um, because I mean, France, the last World Cup was 2007. Ours was
7,
1995.
dude.
2000, so
Yeah,
the fact that they got it again before we got it is crazy to me. But
yeah.
yeah, money talks. But like, back to Australia, man. Like, if you are really focused on trying to not to get embarrassed again when you're hosting the World Cup, I really do for I would suggest that they move away from Eddie Jones. Um, like it's one thing being arrogant while you're winning, dude, but doing that while you're losing, come on, man. Come on,
Yeah,
man. Like, I don't know what he has no I don't know what I don't get the arrogance that he's standing on.
yeah,
Um, like I don't like if you beating people, or if you've won. I mean, the World Cup he won, he was an assistant
yeah. Our assistant
to
to Jake White.
our assistant. So I
Yeah.
don't. He had that win against us as Japan coach, fair,
Hmm.
but come on, man, like, what are you standing on? Like, where is this ego coming from? I
He's
for one
always
don't
been like
get
this.
it. It's funny. It's funny to watch.
He's always
Yeah,
been like this. He's a very pompous little man. He
Yeah,
he has a very,
yeah,
small guys that live in a big man's world. You look at rugby, and the people that he's surrounded by. He has to be larger than life. To live in that environment, and he's
yeah.
always backed it up.
So
As a coach, he's got great respect from everyone. But I think it's gotten to a point now where his arrogance is becoming the controversy. Before, Eddie was just a cute, arrogant guy with a great spirit, basically. Now he's insufferable, and
yeah,
the Australians can't stand him anymore. Before they played Fiji,
exactly.
they asked him that after the game they won, if he's thinking about Fiji. He was like, he wasn't thinking about Fiji. He's thinking about having some wine and going to a restaurant the next day to see the city. And people were like, maybe you should have thought about Fiji instead of having some wine. So those are some of those things that are coming back to bite him in the ass now. Because he's always been this person who's got a chip on his shoulder, who speaks like, you don't talk to me like that type way. So he's not going to stop it at this point.
Yeah,
He's too old. That's his calling card.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I know, indeed, gents. Yeah. I think on as far as the discussion is concerned, I think that's how much I had. Unless if you guys wanted to discuss anything else, you know.
just to think of it though, there's quite a few coaches whose times
Yeah,
might come to an end, come the end of this World Cup. Because
yeah,
if New Zealand bomb out as well, I don't think
yeah.
their coach is keeping their job either. You
True.
know. In
Yeah,
our case, we at least know our coach is going either way.
yeah, he is, indeed,
Uh,
indeed, indeed.
he had
But the
already
structure still
decided.
remains with us.
So yeah, I
That's
think
the
that
dope thing.
exactly. Yeah, but
Hmm.
it's gonna be interesting because yeah, the next come the end of this World Cup, there's gonna be quite a few new coaching faces. Um, Particularly obviously with what used to be Sansa.
Yeah,
I'm not ready for another coaching group. I feel like this coaching group have been so perfect for us. Even
yeah,
after
Yeah,
the last win and Ninaba came in, he just fit like a glove, and he
mm,
wanted to drive home the way we play. Win or lose, we continue to play the same way. We are where you are today because we kept true to our identity. A new coach might come and try to be too creative. New
ish.
coaches
mm,
worry me all the time. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
yeah.
I know my
I
guys.
don't know. Maybe it's someone from within this group. That would be great. I also think a continuity from this group would be great for us.
Yeah,
I also don't, yeah, to not a whole, not something like as a whole new coaching group. That's gonna be a lot.
yeah, I know indeed, bro. Like I just like I just hope they keep the same structure so that we can have a contingency plan, bro. Because this is working
Yeah,
now. It really is
yeah,
working. We are still dominant, especially when it comes to major tournaments. British and Irish Lions as well. They still keep catching hands whenever they come to SA, and so I'm still happy and pleased with this.
yeah.
With with this coaching staff. And anyway, gents, thank you so much for availing yourselves. Luando, you did very well for your first time, King.
Thanks, man. Thank you,
Well
guys.
done.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I can't wait to see
Yes.
London on Monday. We want London
Yeah,
on
on
Monday.
Monday. Yeah, you have to. On Monday, Luando, we usually
Okay,
speak
cool.
Premier League. And yeah,
I'm
Premier League.
there.
Yeah, definitely. But you guys are playing Man City now.
No, no, no.
Hey. No, not
Bournemouth,
yet.
Bournemouth,
Bournemouth. Oh,
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
Yeah,
Yes, we're not doing that.
Man
Yeah.
City next week. Man City next week.
Ooh, okay, I know.
I'm
We'll do a mini build up. We'll do a mini build up because we have a friend of ours who's a diehard City fan who is forever telling us that he's winning trebles. So
Oh, it
it
sucks.
is what
Yeah.
it is. But guys, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Help a brother out. This is Easy Sports, and we out. Peace.
Cheers, gents.
Cheers,
Cheers.
gents.